It's your girl back with another Exotical rant. You know what I was just thinking about, ladies? You really want to know? I was thinking about, I'm a baby mama. What's next? What do I do? Like, can I still level up? Like, what's going to happen to me? Do I have to sit with this title forever? I'm going to tell you that you don't. You don't have to sit with any title that a man gives you. You can always move along and remove titles from yourself and gain more favorable titles in your life. A lot of times young girls get trapped in that baby mama cycle because they're so male identified. They're trying to please this man. They're trying to be like, I'm down for you. See, I had your baby. See, I had another baby for you. See, I had 5 for you. Will you marry me now? No, he's not going to marry you. And if you don't have a good mother beside you that lets you know, this is a hamster wheel, don't get on, you'll fall for the tricks these men play. And they'll keep playing tricks on you every year. You'll be a baby mama for 5 years straight, 6 years straight, 7 years straight, having new babies for this man when he has no intention of ever marrying you or probably giving you anything outside of child support if you're smart enough to file for that. Ladies, don't fall for this trick. Do not let a guy keep getting you pregnant, especially my young girls. You're a teenager, you may be in high school, you may be just fresh in college or just out of college. Do not fall for this. They will never marry you. They will keep dangling marriage in front of you so you can stay around. But the reason they make you a baby mama so nobody else will want you and they can keep coming back and have access to you. That's why they keep you a baby mama, because it does nothing for you, but it does everything for them. They know that they can come get a meal from you. They can come dangle a relationship to getting back together in front of your face. They can dangle a family in front of your face. We already have a family. We might as well try to make it work again. They can keep coming back year after year playing these type of games with you. And because most women hope for their family unit to be intact and together, and for the man that is the father of their children to be in the household with them, they know that you'll accept them back in hopes that they have changed. Ladies, they have not. The best example of this that I've ever seen was when I lived in Alabama. I lived there for a short while, but I met a couple cool ladies, and they were all married. And one lady, her daughter was a baby mama, but her daughter was smart. Her daughter leveled up, stopped dealing with the baby daddy completely, just did co-parenting with him, and she found a husband. And her mom helped facilitate that. This is what a good mom does. If your daughter makes a mistake, you help her correct her mistake. You help her find a man that's really down for her, that's going to do what he said he's going to do, that's going to marry her, that's going to house her, that's going to care for her, protect, provide, provision. He's going to do all that because he knows she's worth it and she doesn't have to do all these type of circus tricks. So that's what her mother did. And her mother and her looked for a guy while she was dating. Her mother babysitted her child, and she dated until she found a good guy that was willing to marry her and that was really willing to take her in and make her a wife because he knew her value. And she stopped messing with that baby daddy. But okay, let's get to the juicy part of the story, ladies. When the baby daddy found out that she had moved on, it was all hell. He wanted to try to take her child away from her. He was trying to get back with her because this is the thing. They don't want you until somebody else does. They don't want to be with you. They don't want to marry you. But when they see the next man has found value in you, they are mad. They are angry. They're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? These guys, they make you a baby mama and never marry you, so other guys won't want you either. They don't want any other guy to really want you or take you seriously. That's why they never marry you. But they still want access to you. Once she started denying that access, he got real nasty. After she was like, I don't want to get back together with you. I found a new guy that values me, that's going to marry me. Woo, all hell broke out, So this is a lesson learned, ladies. You can always level up from being a baby mama. Don't keep having kids by this guy. You already made, especially if you only have one kid by this guy, Do not believe anything he says until he goes down to the courthouse and put his name on the docket and says that he's your husband and he's going to protect, provide, and love you. Do not believe these men. A lot of women go off of men promises. Oh, he promised to do this. He promised to do that. Especially if you are over 25, shit, you're crazy believing these promises, because you know actions are the only thing you can believe from a man. It's his actions. That's the only thing you can believe from anybody. So if you keep wishing and hoping you're gonna be a baby mama twice, a baby mama 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and then it's going to be very hard for you to recouple up with a decent man. And that's what they don't tell you. They keep telling you can do it for yourself, girl. Independent women. They keep giving all these little videos and music and songs about being an independent woman. But they don't talk about how being a single mom is hard. How you have to pay all these bills. How that guy can stop paying child support and disappear. And you're financially responsible for yourself, your child, and all the well-being, everything they got going on. If they're sick that day, you got to deal with it. Okay? If they break their leg, then you got to deal with it. If they don't feel good that day, you got to deal with it. If the school calls, you got to deal with the shit. They don't tell you about all the shit you're going to have to deal with, and you're going to not have any support, and you don't even have your finances together. They don't tell you about that shit, but they keep telling you to get with these low value men, have their babies, and hope they do good by you. Do not do that. If you're a young woman and you don't have any kids and you've been with your boyfriend a while and he's not talking about marriage but he's talking about a baby, run and run fast. These guys don't care if they put you in a bad situation. If you're dumb enough to fall for it, they will have you out here looking crazy, walking down the damn highway with a baby on your fucking back, tore up shoes on, and hungry, tired, and stressed out. And then when something happens or you neglect your child because you're so stressed out and tired, or you have to go to work and leave that child by itself, now you're in jail. So do not believe these guys. Do not believe anything they say. Only believe their actions. And never believe a guy that's willing to impregnate you, but he won't marry you because he doesn't see you as a wife. He doesn't value you as a wife. He thinks that because whatever level he met you on, that's where you're at. And like, you're good enough to be a baby mama, but you're never good enough to be that wife. If you have one kid, get the fuck out of there. Literally. If you already have a kid by this guy and he's talking about more babies, but no marriage, you will never be a wife with this man. Leave, run. Go find some support. If you have to go find some support from your family, from your community, find some support and get the hell out of there. So you can at least have a chance to be a happy woman. And that's one thing a lot of us, exoticals, whatever you want to call us, mixed race women, black women, like they try to take that away from us. They try to take our womanhood away from us and try to make us the mules of the community. And ladies, you know what I'm talking about. They try to make us, burden us down with all this baggage. And then when we get overweight, we get stressed out, we get angry and bitter, then they talk shit about us. Ladies, don't let a man do this to you. If you can't handle this baby, honestly, get your baby adopted. Put your baby in. I would say try to keep the baby out of foster care if you can. But if it comes to that, you need to give that baby to the state. Give that baby, or try to get that baby in a good home. I always advocate for adoption. You finding a good family in your area that really wants a baby but can't have a baby, or they can't have any more babies, and they're going to take financial support of that child and care for that child and leave it open so you can come visit that child when you have a chance. You can when you get yourself together, you can still keep an open relationship with your biological child. I suggest adoption heavily, because that's why if you ever wonder why a lot of mixed race kids are in foster care and adopted, it's because once the black guy got with the white girl, and then he leaves her after she's pregnant. You know what Becky goes and does? She goes and gets rid of that baby and gives them to the state and say, I can't care for this child. And she goes back and lives in white suburbia and gets her white card back. And she gets her all her privileges back because she knows with that child, she won't be accepted back into her culture. Ladies, we can learn some stuff from Becky. She's smart. She realizes, this man left me. This is his child. Let me go get my child adopted, or let me put, I may not have a lot of resources. Maybe I need the state to help me, because I don't want to live a life of tragedy, of burden my entire life because I can't care for this child. Ladies, sometimes you have to put yourself first. Seriously, especially if you're already a baby mama, you know how hard it is, don't get in this situation twice. And if you've already had a couple children by this guy, he won't marry you. I would start a good co-parenting thing, but I would definitely level myself up. I always advocate adoption because these guys do not care about you. If you don't, as a woman, especially a woman of color, if you don't care about yourself, guys will use the fuck out of you and not give a damn. I'm just going to tell you straight up. As an exotical sister, I'm telling you, these guys don't care about you. They will use you up until nothing good about you is left and then leave you out in the streets. So if you don't care about yourself, at least care about your kids. Don't put them in bad situations don't keep getting pregnant by a guy that can't even commit to you, much less a child. And then if you have more beautiful children, your children are at risk because they're neglected, they're poor, they have a lot of problems because you're always going to be at work. Believe it or not, you're going to be the workhorse because who's going to pay these bills? Go look in the mirror. It's going to be you, bitch. Just saying. And sometimes I know people are going to be like, Exotical Rants, why are you being such a bitch? Because a lot of us don't have mothers at home to tell us. We don't have sisters at home around us to tell us this shit is crazy. So let me be your sister right now. Let me be your mother right now and tell you this shit is crazy. Get away from these guys. Stop letting them use you. You are not their toy. Okay? And don't let them be your, care for your well-being so much that a guy that doesn't offer you nothing has no access to you. Okay? So care about yourself like you would care about a small child that's 5 years old and that's helpless. That's how you have to treat your heart, your mind, your body. You have to really protect yourself. And because as exoticals, we're really beautiful. A lot of men give us a lot of attention. They like us. You'll let your guard down. Like, oh, they really like me. They like the way you look. Okay. It's very superficial with men, most men. Okay. And they can't really get to know you until they walk up to you because they liked what they saw. So ladies, stop getting yourself in bad situations. Being a baby mama is a bad situation. Sierra figured that out. And she begged. She was on TV crying until some other rich guy decided to save her. That is like a 1 in a million story, ladies. Usually when you're a lower income or middle class girl, no rich guy is going to come save you. Cause you don't have access to those men on that level, and you're not even visible to them most times, especially if you don't know how to market yourself. You don't know how to really go out into those type of affluent areas by yourself and really level yourself up and not be afraid. A lot of girls can never level up because they're too afraid to level up because they have to go into a world unknown. So try to get it right. If you've already made a mistake, try to get it right. If you already have a couple kids by this guy, try to find a support system and stop letting him come back. Let him co-parent his children. Definitely, he needs access to his children. But you have to let this dream of a family go. You created a family with a man that does not value you as a wife. He has not treated you as such. You have to let that fantasy go and figure out the next steps, the next plan for your life. And that is really hard for a lot of women to do, to step out on faith, to step out into the unknown, to step out and be like, I don't know what's going to happen, but something has to be better than this. A lot of people stay in stagnant situations because they're like, well, this is the devil I know. Listen, ladies, there's always something better out there for you, and you have to believe it for yourself. Do not let these guys put these titles on you. They'll call you a baby mama. After you become a baby mama, then they'll call you ratchet. Okay. Ladies, these are terms that low value men use. Okay, first they try to make you a baby mama. First, you're a young, beautiful girl. You're out living your life. You're beautiful. They value you. Soon as you have that baby, you're a baby mama. Next step, after they see you, after they didn't drug all the youthfulness and beauty out of you, and you're overweight, now you're ratchet because you're walking around in a bonnet and some pajamas because you're tired and stressed out and just trying to take care of your kids, and you had to walk to the store because he doesn't provide you transportation. Now you're ratchet. You see how it works, ladies? You see how men create the women that they don't want? Don't let a guy create your destiny. You are not his punching bag. You cannot let these low value men create somebody that you are not. Your mother never, when you were born, your mother never envisioned for you to be a ratchet woman, for you to be a sexy red or something low level. Like, you have to look at yourself as you look at small children and see the best in yourself. You can't let a guy determine what you're gonna be. And that's one thing I'm glad my mom taught me. It's not what people say about you, but what you say about yourself. So you are not a baby mama. You are a woman, you're a mother with child, and you're unmarried. Okay, but you are not ratchet. They created that. They want you to be ratchet. Why does she have that bonnet on? Because you're too cheap or broke to pay for her to get her hair done. That's why. But they don't want to tell you that. Why is she walking? Because you have not provided her transportation. You see how they try to create these very loose households that don't have real structure, and then they try to pin all the blame on you. Oh, your son is not a good man because you didn't have a husband. His father never made me a wife, so I couldn't have a husband. He wouldn't take care of his responsibilities. So, ladies, you see how the cycle goes? All the manipulation, they keep trying to manipulating you into you taking less and less and less and less and less. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for these guys' propaganda. The best thing I learned as a young woman was my mother was like, you have all your life to deal with men. Get yourself together first. That's the best advice I've gotten. And then, like, just listening to how my mother would talk to me, we would have deep conversations about stuff. She was like, you're too good to be a baby mama. You're too good I didn't raise you to be that. Like, I put so much time, effort, and finances into you. Like, don't let any man lower your value. Because they will if you let them. They will lower your value. And then after they make you ratchet, then like you get so stressed out, you start using drugs. Now you're a crackhead. You see how they keep lowering you on the totem pole? First you're a baby mama, then you're ratchet, now you're a crackhead. Because you're using drugs because you're so miserable, you start using drugs. Ladies, and then after you become a crackhead, the next thing, you're a low-level prostitute now. Ladies, you see how they keep lowering your value and taking everything good away from you? They take your womb away from you. You see? They take your beauty and your aesthetic away from you, being ratchet, right? Now they take your health away from you, being a crackhead now, right? Now they take your sex and use it as a weapon because you're prostituting for money to get the next high. You see how they took everything good about you out of you? Don't let these men do that. That was their plan from the jump, was to take everything good out of you. If you let somebody do that to you, you deserve it. Do not get manipulated into this love game. And then when women become gold diggers, they'll tell you, what about love? But you notice if they're not gold diggers, they never mention anything about love. But it's only when you're like, where the cash at? They start talking about love. Because they know the games they're playing. They're like, oh, okay, she's smart. She's not for free 99. Yeah, don't let these guys play with you. Don't believe the games that they play, okay? And a lot of these low budget men, I call them low budget men. Like, they go after women like as prey. They prey on women. They prey on young, naive women. And then they turn them into baby mamas. Then they prey on them again. Then they turn them into ratchets. Then they prey on them again. Then they turn them into crackheads or drug heads because they're so stressed out. Then they prey on them again. Then they turn them into prostitutes, low-level prostitutes. Then after you become a prostitute and you're that down in the pit, now you're suicidal. You see how that goes? Like, they took everything away from you. They really took everything away from you. don't ever let anybody take all your stuff. Don't let anybody take all your stuff. Ever. Like, literally, I will ghost a guy in a minute, especially when I used to date. I will ghost a motherfucker in a minute. I have no nonsense policy. Like, I'm like the United States. I don't deal with terrorists. If you come to my life and try to tear it up, you will be, it's a no, we have no, it's no negotiations. You're getting the hell out of here by force or whatever. You're getting out of here. You have to have that type of protection around yourself, especially as an exotical. You have to have no negotiations with terrorists. Okay? And these low budget guys, these guys that always try to offer you good sex, but they have no money, they have no protection for you. They have nothing for you but some good dick. Run fast, bitch. Run. Because they will leave you in such a, when somebody sees you again and they don't even recognize you, you know they took all your stuff from you. Yeah, they took everything you had that was beautiful and they turned it into something ugly. Ladies, you have to be smarter use your brain. I know everybody desires to be loved, but love yourself. Love up on yourself so hard that when somebody enters your life, they know it's a non-negotiable entity that they enter in to care for you, to respect you, to love you. And if they're not there for that, they gotta go. You have to be like that. You have to stop letting women that are filthy rich tell you to be independent. You also have to stop believing these guys that literally have nothing to offer you but good sex. Buy a vibrator or whatever you need to do, but you need to let go of the sex, because sex is a 3-minute joy that can turn into horrors afterward. We as exoticals are the most beautiful women of society. We have to treat ourselves as such. We have to really have our backs. We have to really understand that if we let somebody use us, they will use the crap out of us and nothing will be left. I've seen women like that get into these situations and let men break them down, and it never ends well. It ends really sadly, and you'll see these women in major cities. They're walking around. They look really disheveled. You can tell they've been using drugs. You can tell they're prostituting for drugs. Ladies, you have to be smart about what you will and will not do. Don't ever get so infatuated with somebody that you let your guard down and you're not thinking with your head. Be smart about this. If you're in middle school, in high school, in college, right after college, you don't need to be having babies by guys that aren't your husband. Especially if you're in college and in general, you don't. These men don't really care for you. You know that in your heart, especially if you already had one baby by this guy. You saw how he treated you at your most vulnerable state. And that's being pregnant and having a baby, how he played all these games with you when you're going through hormonal changes. You just pushed his big-headed ass kid out of your ass, but he's still playing these games. Ladies, let it go. Let it go. The one thing that as exoticals we could really dive into is self-love. You have to really care for yourself and really love yourself. And you'll meet in life. I have met a lot of women that don't care for themselves, and you can see it in how they treat themselves. You can see it how they treat their kids, how they're always in some drama. Like, don't keep repeating the same patterns. It won't work. Really dive into who you are as a woman. If you're trying to find yourself, here's a space for you. Here's a space for you. This is a safe space for mixed women. This is a space for us. I'm sorry. My mouth is kind of dry. But yeah, this is a safe space for mixed women. This is a space where we can be real with each other. Hold on, guys. We can be real with each other. We can love on each other. We can give each other advice. And we can be a support system for each other. Ladies, this is your life. This is real life. Don't let anybody play games with your life. I'm telling you, when you're 30, 40, 50, 60, you want to be a woman that has made good decisions, and it starts now. So if you've already made a mistake, and your children are not mistakes. Dealing with that bum was a mistake, because kids are blessings. But if you've already made a couple mistakes and you're trying to level back up, this is your encouragement. This is your vitamin C boost. Okay? You can still level up. Don't let these guys play games with you. Don't let yourself be a pawn in somebody else's game. Okay? Level up. Get yourself together. And if you have kids, make intelligent choices. And I actually heard about this one story about this girl that had literally she had a couple kids by this guy. He refused to take care of her or the children, or even provide any financial care for the children. She didn't have any money. Her family had kicked her out, and she's walking around the streets with these kids. She got so disheveled and exhausted and stressed out. She took her kids to the fire station and said, I can't take care of them. I'm sorry, I can't take care of them. Can you guys please call CPS or whoever can come pick them up? And they did. And she made a video about it, and people were, I'm sorry, I forgot her name, or I would have tagged it in. If you guys know her name, I think she was an Exotical too. She was so stressed out. She was begging this guy to just bring her some milk and some Pampers and some wipes for her kids. And he promised he would. And she got so stressed out. She said, I can't get help from anybody. And people were clowning her online. I think it was on TikTok. They were clowning her. And all I could think about was she did the right thing. These guys will keep impregnating. She had 3 kids by this dude, and he could not bring her some milk and some Pampers and some wipes. Think about that, and you're not having any family support. And this guy tells you he's going to bring this stuff. Your babies are crying and waiting for him to bring this stuff, and he never shows. And then you call him back, you're blocked. Ladies, this is the kind of shit these motherfuckers will do, okay? And people were clowning her. Why would you do that to your kids? She did what was best in her situation for herself. This woman honestly was in a lot of mental stress, and she needs to get herself together. She was not in the place to take care of those kids. And instead of her hurting those kids or taking them somewhere that somebody else could potentially hurt those children, she did the right thing. And she was getting clowned because she was a Black woman, and she was a woman that was in distress, and she vocalized it on TikTok, and people were dragging her. And who they should have been dragging is the sorry guy that got her pregnant 3 times, knowing that he couldn't provide for those children or her. And he had no intention of being a family with her. He should have got dragged as well. But you see how they'll put a scarlet letter on you? Ladies, if nobody told you, you are important, you are loved, you are that girl. So don't let anybody try to take that away from you, especially a low value man that will put you in a bad and dangerous situation with small children. Ladies, let me know how you feel in the comments. Like and subscribe, and stay lovely. Bye, ladies.